Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Bayou Ballers podcast. Welcome back. July 17th. I am Tay Visuals. They call me Tay. I'm your host. Got my guy over there, Trey, man. How you doing today, brother?
Man, doing good, man. A little bit under the weather, but we're gonna make it work.
We
Excited to talk about what we talk about. So
facts. We almost in the dog days of the NBA season. We kinda is, but we still got a little stuff going on right now. But it's looking a little scarce for us right now in the NBA.
yeah,
But luckily, the NFL will be picking up soon. But in the July, August is kind of like it's quiet for the NBA. But we got a little
right.
summer league if you are a real NBA fan. But we got to get to this, man. We got to get the Jalen Brunson extension.
hmm
With the New York Knicks, 3 years, I believe. What was it? 140, 130. I'm sorry, I only had the
It's
numbers out,
something
but
like that.
I think it was like 40 mil per year, big pay cut from where everybody what
Yeah.
everybody was saying. I first want to say the the Jalen Brunson and his agent
hmm
telling Woj this, trying to make it look like he's some. Oh, he's taking $113 million pay cut. That was very
Yeah.
shrewd. That was very shrewd of them, but it's not $113 million pay cut. We'll leave it at that, y'all. But well, I'll leave it at that. But I'll let you. I want to hear your take on the deal. But it's kind of
Yeah.
like the Russell Westbrook coming off the bench. Russell and his agent put out, oh yeah, he's willing to come off the bench.
Uh-huh.
He wants to save face for the team. Same thing Brunson agent did, which is very smart. But what's your thoughts
Right.
on this deal for the Knicks and for Brunson?
Well, well, and I got the numbers for you. He got 4 years, 156.5 million. So
Well,
a
player
little
option,
over
so we
four.
know that's three.
Yeah, a little over 4 million. So
Mm-hmm.
you know, like they say he gave up 113 million, but obviously that's under the assumption that he
Mm-hmm.
would have had another good season, Knicks doing well, and the Knicks pay him the full max, which we can't guarantee that
Which
stuff
could have
at all,
been 5 years, 269 million.
something like that. So, it's easy for us to assume, but we've seen in the past what happens over the course of an 82 game regular season. Maybe a guy doesn't play as well as we thought he was, especially in that contract year. And the team says, like we thought we wanted to pay you that money, but we don't really want to pay you that money.
Like
Uh,
Isaiah Thomas.
right. So, it's easy for us to assume and be like you said, he's the good soldier. He took a big
Mm-hmm.
pay cut because he could have got paid, but maybe he decided I don't want to play essentially on 1 year. Something happens, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't get my money. So I'm getting a pretty good size contract. It can help
We'll
us
be able
still
to
sign,
opt out in three.
right? It can still help us sign other people for now, maybe make a push, a few injuries away from at least being in Eastern Conference Finals, right? So
Mm-hmm.
got my guy Mikal Bridges who's talking about taking a pay cut. Maybe if Julius Randle still plays to what he was, kind of that 14 game stretch before he got hurt, you might give him a team, or he might take a team friendly extension as well if he
Mm-hmm.
feels like the Knicks are competing. And so now you're a perennial contender, hopefully, in the Eastern Conference and hopefully in the NBA overall, vying for a championship, which I can't say in my lifetime that we've ever considered the Knicks to be a perennial championship contender, and what they've been able to do since Jalen Brunson got acquired. They're at least in some conversations within their conference. I don't think we were there to push them in the NBA as a whole, but at least making some noise in their conference for now. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's a pretty good spot for the Knicks to be in. And Brunson kind of taking his deal and giving them the ability to go try to get other people, it helps. So I'm interested to
Mm-hmm.
see what happens. But to your point, like, did he really take a pay cut, or did we just assume he was get paid? Like, bro,
Right, like
82
5
game
years.
season, playing
Right.
for Tibbs,
And for a
47 minutes
point
a
guard,
game,
undersized point guard, a
and
big injury could happen.
right, and there's also an assumption that he's gonna, he's when he opts out again, he'll be young enough. I think he'll be
Mhm.
like 31 or 32 to get
To
another
get
big
another one.
payday.
Yep. I
I don't
think
know.
and not to cut you off, I think
No.
I saw some numbers in 3 years he'll be able to if he's still playing at the level and
Right.
somebody and the Knicks want to pay him, he'll be able to get a 4-year, like $300 million contract.
Yeah. Which is
So
insane.
yeah, so
Well,
and the comparison they made was finish your point what you were saying, bro. Then I'll go
well, I
ahead.
was just about to say, with him being a small guard,
Mm-hmm.
and you wouldn't necessarily call him athletic or anything like
All
that.
right.
Like, can we necessarily project that he'll still be one of the better players in the league at that age and
All
what he's
right.
allowed to do? So, I mean, three years away, like 3 years is a long time from now. So, I mean, I hope he's able to cash in on that and he makes this pay cut worthwhile. But
All right.
yeah, there's a
And,
lot of assumptions going on with
and
Jalen Brunson.
yeah, around that age, I would say 31, 32. That's when you
Mhm.
normally get your second contract. But with these point guards, at least undersized, they kind of starting to get treated like running
Running back.
backs, I believe. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like we starting to see because we saw especially if you get an injury. I mean, I said get an injury, suffer an injury. You
Mhm.
you saw the John Wall, you saw Kimball Walker, Isaiah Thomas, all these point guards who had high level point guards at one point. Kimball was a high level point guard
Mhm.
for his whole Charlotte tenure. John Wall for the whole Wizard tenure. One injury changed your whole career
Mhm.
trajectory. Once Kimball went to the Celtics and suffered that I forgot what injury was it. But we know what happened with Isaiah with his hip injury, him
Mhm.
not being able to cash in. So get your money now. And the comparison they made was the next year deal, it could be 5 years, 269 million. And they compared it to a 4-year deal he took, which really is a 3-year deal because it's a player
Yeah.
option. And we know most players opt out unless they have a big injury or something that year.
Right.
So Rose, don't do that no more. We love
Don't
your
do that.
Wolves, but I don't know how much his agent and Brunson gave you out of that cup for sending that. It was a very detailed tweet when he
Yeah.
described the deal. You'll never get no inter details like that about a
Mhm.
contract when it happens like that. So I know the agent probably wrote that up and sent the Wolves to break that news. But
For
hey,
sure.
we got some more news in the Eastern Conference, brother. Didn't show you this one. Gary Trent to the Bucks on a
I
minimum.
did see that today. Mm-hmm.
Gary Trent was supposed to, he was demanding, I'll say from his end, not demanding, but he wanted at least about 25 million.
Mm-hmm.
Now he gets a veteran minimum prove it deal with Doc Rivers, but this is perfect for the Bucks.
Yeah.
Slides right into the shooting guard starting spot. I think he's gonna start and they'll bring Connaughton off the bench probably. He played with
Mm-hmm.
Damian Lillard in Portland,
Did.
3-and-D player. Um, I think it's a perfect fit,
Yeah.
perfect find for the Bucks at a veteran minimum. Didn't have to do anything to the roster.
Yeah.
You like the move for the Bucks
I
and
do.
Trent
And I was
because
looking up
it's a
his
proven
stats.
year.
Average almost 14 a game,
Mm-hmm.
shooting 42.6 from the field. And I'm not sure. I think he shot pretty well from three last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Let me
think,
check it out.
to your point, him having to settle for a vet minimum, it kind of shows where the NBA is now in how they have to
Yes.
monitor their contracts and who they're giving it to. And then maybe suffering a little bit from playing for a losing team
Mm-hmm.
because a guy that's putting up those numbers, you would think at the very least getting a multi-year deal more than a vet minimum. But it is an opportunity for him to now be on a contending team. There's going to be a lot of eyes on you. You're playing with two of our better players in the league in
Mm-hmm.
Giannis and Damian Lillard. And you can also, that might be points where he's playing off of Chris Middleton. So, it's not like they're going to be asking him to do or play a role that he's not accustomed to, I guess you
Mm-hmm.
can say. And it's an opportunity for him to cash in on his value where, there is going to be a probably a much larger free agency class last year than it was this year. But I think there's also going to be some money rolling around, especially with the NBA just finishing up that new media rights deal. So he
Mm-hmm.
can probably cash that in. So whether that's him staying with the Bucks or maybe being able to go to another contender, whether it be in the Eastern Conference or Western Conference, and be able to join them.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? He might decide, hey, he want to join the San Antonio Wimbies next year because they'll have money to blow, and
Mm-hmm.
it's no knowing who they're planning on spending that type of money on, because most of their most of the young guys are under contract, so don't have to worry about really paying them a whole lot of money that'll affect the cap. So it's good for him, but I think the Bucks are the real winners here, right? I mean, you got a 3-and-D player, a guy that can even
Torian
start.
Prince. They're
Yep.
having a quiet, good
Yeah.
offseason. And
Yeah.
role players. They needed these
Yeah.
guys. Some
And
guys who could play some defense.
and they still haven't had to trade a Bobby Portis or a Brook
Brooke
Lopez,
Lopez.
guys we thought they'd be moving off from. They
Mm-hmm.
might say, hey, we're going to keep these guys. So, I mean, I think you either have strengthened your starting lineup or you
Mm-hmm.
strengthen your bench unit. Either way, having a Gary Trent Jr. is not going to hurt you one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
And they needed to make some tweaks. They needed to make some
They
tweaks.
definitely did. They have
Uh,
no defensive guards after they traded out Drew Holiday for
mhm.
Dame. No defensive guards. They had Malik Beasley back there in the backcourt with Dame. It was a great shooter, same like Garrett Trent, good shooter. He shot 39.3% from three last year. So
Yeah.
knockdown shooter almost close to 40. So he's been what is for his career? He's been a 40. He's been a basically a 39% shooter his whole career. So he's pretty
Okay.
consistent. But
Still young too. This is
yeah,
25.
Garrett Trent, he's young. I think he's younger than let me see. Yeah, 25. Young guy.
Okay.
So he'll be on the free agent market next year. Chose the Bucks definitely can bring his value up and get a multi-year deal next year. So if he plays well, and I think he'll have the opportunity to do that with open shots with Dame stretching the floor, Giannis.
Yeah.
So
And
perfect spot for him.
Doc knows how to utilize shooters. So
Yeah, that's the only thing that scared me was playing for Doc, but but hey, in the playoffs, he gonna make his money in the regular season, Gary Trent. I don't know about the playoffs because Doc
yeah.
might put you in some bad positions. But speaking of one more thing for the Bucks, man, Chris Middleton, two
Mm-hmm.
ankle surgeries on both ankles this
Mm-hmm.
offseason. What's going on with Chris Middleton after the championship year? He just his body has been failing him. He had knee surgery, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
and he it was something about his knee after he had the surgery, he came back and it wasn't right again. And I think they had to go in it again.
And
And
clean it
he
up. Yeah.
hasn't been ever since that injury. And now, two ankle surgeries. Is just he never was a fast, twitchy guy to begin with.
Yeah.
Always was just a smooth guy, mid-range assassin. Get to his spot, kind of like a Paul Pierce type of mover.
Yeah.
That's the type of game he has. And now I'm sure it's not going to help his mobility anymore. But so hopefully he gets healthy and he can get back to contributing to like championship. Yeah, though I doubt it. I think he's past that. And
Okay.
he got rewarded for that championship year when they gave him that big extension. But I don't know if Chris Middleton is going to see another big contract
Mm-hmm.
unless he turns it around. And still, I don't know if he's going to get a big contract at the age he's approaching. But what do you think, man? Two
Yeah,
ankle
it
surgery
sucks. It sucks for
on both
him.
ankles.
It sucks
They
for
say
him,
he'll
man.
be ready for the start of the season, though.
Yeah, man. But it's just like your body's failing you. I mean, because
Right,
when they say, okay, he'll be ready for the start of the season, what does that mean? Like, can he just start doing basketball activities?
right. And
Is
I
he
want
going
to
to
know,
be
when did he
okay?
have this? It said the
Right.
offseason. When the offseason been
Yeah.
started for the Bucks, like
So,
in
like,
May.
yeah. So, like, did it
So
just happen, or
right.
like, that's a good point, and hopefully we get more information
Mm-hmm,
centered around that. But I think what it really shows in the grand scheme of things is if he wants to revive his career or be able to sustain it for at least another 3 or 4 years, I think he's going to have to change his role on the
mm-hmm,
team. And that's not even being the third best player anymore. I think maybe he does come off the bench now, and you have a guy like Gary Trent Jr. and Torian Prince starting next to Damian Lillard and
mm-hmm,
bringing Chris Middleton over in the bench rotation,
mm-hmm.
uh,
I mean, the big
and
Chris Middleton
seeing
contract.
just trying to keep him afloat, especially just through the postseason. I think he had a relatively okay postseason this year. I think he's shown flashes where if he has to be that guy, he can step up, but he just can't do it
Mm-hmm,
as often as he used to be and was expected to be. And so I think if the Bucks want to get the best out of him and he wants to give his best, he just needs to start thinking about what does that look like for me. because he's
Mm-hmm.
not going to do it on the defensive end at this point in his career, especially with the injuries and the surgeries. And they're not going to necessarily run offense through him as often as they've done in the past. So it's just trying to think about what that new role is. And
Mm-hmm.
I think you play for a guy that knows how to switch a player's role and make it work for the team. I talk crap about Doc Quivers is what I call him all the time,
Doc
but
Shivers.
but I do think he knows how to maximize something out of his players, and I think he can do that with Chris Middleton. And I think he
Mm-hmm.
might see Chris probably not have as good of offensive numbers in the regular season
Mm-hmm.
that we used to seeing, but we might see him take it up a little notch in the playoffs. And I can see them trying to do that with him for maybe the next 2 years or so. And they got some young guys at the wing position that they've put draft capital into. So there's going to be a point in time where you got to decide:
Yeah, we still
are we
waiting
going to
on
go with these young
Bochamp.
guys, or are we going to keep going with Chris? So that conversation is going to be happening a lot sooner, I think, especially with a lot of these injuries.
Yeah, man. I'm just looking at his contract. He signed the extension in 2023, 3 years, 102 million.
Mm-hmm.
So he has 2 more years left on his contract at about 30 million per season. I can definitely see him being a trade chip for them. I don't know who's going to trade. It's not that bad of a contract for a
Yeah.
third option, 30 million per year, especially the way the NBA cap is going.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if he's going to be playing game one. It says he'll be ready, but like you said, what does
Yeah.
ready mean? Is he in basketball shape? Will he play in preseason?
Mm-hmm.
Will we see him doing that? So I don't know, man. It's been a tough couple of years after the championship season for Chris, but we hope
Mm-hmm.
he get better and hope he gets back to performing at the level he can. But
For sure.
well, I also one thing I didn't put on here. Somebody, Kyrie Irving also had surgery
He broke his
on his
hand. Yeah.
left hand. Yeah, broke his left hand training. Unlike Chris Middleton, I don't think this will be too. Excuse me. I don't think it'd be too detrimental to him. He should be ready for the season, but he is a left hand god over there. He's one of the only players in the NBA who uses his left hand as a right hand player and a left hand player. So yeah, I don't think it's too serious, but
Yeah.
who knows? Um, let's get to my guy and your guy. Well, your news. Rookie quarterbacks. I was not aware of this. I will say
Mm-hmm.
this when you sent me this. Rookie quarterbacks holding out
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Williams and JJ McCartney. Now, what are they holding out of? What, training camp?
So they're holding out a training camp for now with their
For what?
contract negotiation. So they haven't
Oh
signed
no,
their
Caleb
rookie
signed his. He signed
because
it
he
yesterday.
he
Four
probably just
years,
signed a
39
recent
million. Yeah.
because but part of the reason for his holdout, and I don't know if it had gotten settled yet. I doubt it,
Hmm.
but he truly was kind of trying to convince the Bears to put in his contract that they won't put the franchise tag on. And so that was the stalemate, which is like
Oh yeah, I see it.
I
I
get
see
it,
it. Caleb Williams asked for no franchise tag and
like
rookie contract. Bears decline, as they should.
as they should.
As
Like,
they
you know what?
should.
But here's the thing. I guess we starting to figure out folks have the audacity. And sometimes that's good to have because I've never heard of a rookie asking
It's gonna
that
get worse.
before.
It's gonna get
Right.
worse before you continue. It's gonna get worse as the year
I think
as the
so.
year keeps going. It's gonna get worse, bro.
Yeah.
Like with the NIL, people coming out more entitled. They feeling
Hmm.
they don't need teams' money. They already coming in with money.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I wouldn't be surprised you see some NBA players ask for crazy
About to act
stuff
like
coming
that
out. Like,
because they dad's players and
yep,
retired players. But but it was
man.
crazy when I heard that. I was like, all right.
Like,
Like
what
it's
have you proved yet?
now JJ's is a little bit more traditional. Like he's just trying to make sure he gets more guaranteed money on the front end because sometimes they
Hmm.
like to backload the deals, and so it's a little bit more of a traditional holdout.
Hmm.
But I think the Vikings having a Sam Darnold in tow is kind of a little bit of why they're playing some hardball. But I think much like Caleb, they'll figure it out. You see this all the time though. With like I said with JJ, players like him, they're just wanting more money up front and more
Hmm.
guaranteed money up front because they don't want things to be backloaded. So I'm pretty sure they'll figure it out. But it's just we're coming off a year where I think and you might agree with this, where I think we probably saw league wide probably some of the worst quarterback play
Man,
ever that we've
it,
seen.
it it's the time.
And
It's the NFL time of the backups. You have to have a backup
yeah,
quarterback. Like starters get injured, and when starters are in, they're not looking well. It's like it was the slowest. It's like we had to get an MVP to somebody last year.
yeah,
Like because no quarterback took it. We know it's a quarterback award. That's why
yeah.
Tyreek was in the discussion for a
And
good
Christian
minute.
McCaffrey too.
Yep, Christian McCaffrey. I believe Justin Jefferson would have been in it because he was on a tear
Okay.
before he got
Yeah.
injured. So if quarterback play continues like that, you might see a
Mhm.
positional a skilled positional player win the MVP. But
Yeah.
you continue with your
Yeah,
quarterback.
but just kind of thinking about it, it's like, you want rookies to be able to come in and get that time. And especially you guys are coming in like Caleb Williams played in more of a gimmicky type of offense, not necessarily a pro style offense. Didn't
Westbrook,
necessarily win the big games that you
right?
needed to win. JJ McCarthy, like your
He
teams
played in
won
the
games in
NFL
college
style.
where you only do 10 passes. Like, so
It's like
you
they're the
need
total opposite, huh?
right,
JJ
like
won the big games, but didn't contribute as much.
right.
Caleb lost the big games, but contributed a lot.
Right. So y'all need this time. Y'all need these valuable reps. And I get it. It's the business at the end of the day. So they gotta think about that too. Right. I'm not saying they just need to lay down and let the organizations just treat them any type of way. But it's just like, come on,
But
man. Like I want to see something because I
yes,
saw I saw multi-year veterans not really looking good last year. So I'm not about to have a lot of high expectations for this rookie class coming in based on what I saw in college and what can translate to the NFL. So um,
like yes, bro. Like, come
you know,
on. Like, we invested the first pick in you.
yeah.
We gave you $40 million guaranteed,
Mhm.
and that's 4 years with a fifth year team option. And you asked for a franchise tag before you threw a pass in our uniform.
Right.
Well,
It's
not a
like,
franchise tag, not to give you the franchise tag.
right. And that's
Like,
assuming like you like that. Like,
if you are
bro,
great, they're not going to give you the franchise tag. What
we just got
quarterback?
rid of the quarterback, right? Like we just got rid of a quarterback that we
Exactly.
drafted
We
in the
cleared the
first
decks for
round.
you. We cleared the decks for you. This is what I'm saying. If you are great, what great quarterback gets the franchise tag? Who is known for the
No.
franchise tag? Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. The only great quarterback they got the franchise tag was Drew Brees and Peyton Manning, and that's because their owners. No Tom Benson could be a hole, and we know what old boy Indy
Jim
was, and
Irsay.
Jim Irsay. So they both ended up taking their teams to court. But like
Man, this is
other than
this is
that,
like nowadays, no quarterback is getting a franchise tag.
mm-mm,
Like if
mm,
you're great, Lamar, it took a minute to get his deal that he got it done. Mahomes, he got his deal. Josh Allen,
mm.
Joe Burrow, who just got a big bag. Trevor Lawrence, he
Trevor
hasn't
Lawrence got a
been
big
great. He
bag.
been the
Jared
first. He
Goff
got a
got a
big
big
bag.
bag. Yeah.
Everybody getting bags without franchise tag because nowadays it's the time of you have to kiss your quarterback
Mm,
behind.
yes.
No matter if he's your top pick, no matter if he's playing great, long as he's not playing trash,
Awful, yeah.
yeah, awful. Like, so you're gonna get your money if you're playing well. Even Daniel Jones got a bag. He didn't get franchised.
Don't remind me, dog.
So what are we doing? You don't need to ask for don't franchise me. If you
Yeah.
play well, you're gonna get your money into this because everybody's starving
Mhm.
for a quarterback. And JJ is I'm looking right here, it says JJ and Dallas Turner are the only first round picks that are not signed at the moment. So
Mhm.
you'll be my guy. But
Yeah.
we're gonna move on to somebody else who has demands as well. His might get met, and that is Brandon Ayuk. I swear
Mhm.
we rolling with the transitions, bro. We get better and better. Y'all
We
gotta
good. We
tune.
good.
Y'all have to like, comment, and subscribe. Please do that for us, man. Bayou Ballers Podcast. Brandon Ayuk demands a trade. Nothing new here. We've been here for
No,
months.
right.
Any new news here? When you sent me this, I was like, oh, okay, what's new?
Yeah. Well, the
San
only
Fran
real new
did not
news
send me
around it
nowhere.
is that Ayuk's father in another world in the Pittsburgh Steelers have sent multiple offers to the San Francisco 49ers, which they have denied. And I think with Brandon Ayuk publicly now saying I want to get traded, you got to start taking the deals that are coming out there. And
Mm-hmm.
if Pittsburgh reportedly has been some pretty good deals, centered around picks in a player or so. And they just
Mm-hmm.
kind of denied it because I guess they felt like, man, Brandon's gonna be all right. Like we're gonna figure it out. He's gonna be a part of the team. He's gonna be in camp. We go through preseason. He gonna ball out again. We're gonna figure this contract thing out. Well, Brandon, now you said, bro, I'm done. Like we done been at the table so many times. We not really moving along. Like I want an opportunity, fresh start to show my worth, be able to have an opportunity to cash in. And there are two teams with the money that can give him what he wants. And that's
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh Steelers and the Washington Commanders, who may be going back to their original name, but we won't say that yet. But when it happens, we'll say it again.
I know.
Shout out to the
What
character
the
name.
Washington team? Remember when it was the Washington team? Man, I'm
But
looking at the Steelers depth chart. Wide receiver 1, George Pickens.
mhm.
After that is not too much. They have Van Jefferson, Quez Watkins, Marquez Callaway is over there. Hey, look at our friend.
Yeah.
He's not with Denver no more. Calvin Austin the third. I'm not familiar with him.
Mhm.
So
A
their
whole
running
lot of
back room
nothing,
is
right?
yes, their running back room is amazing though. With Najee, Jalen Warren, and Cordell Patterson.
Mhm.
So they should have a great run game. But
And
after George Pickens, Van Jefferson is a good third option, I
yeah,
believe, but
it's
not
slim
a number
pickings.
2. So yeah,
And
Brandon Ayuk would definitely help Justin Fields or Russell Wilson over there.
right. And you want either Russell Wilson to have a bounce back year, or you want just find something in Justin Fields to where he has a long career as a Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback. And
Right.
a guy
So you
like
wouldn't have
Brandon
to waste
Ayuk,
another pick.
right? A guy like Brandon Ayuk, and you're pairing him with George Pickens, who's shown that he can ball in this league, especially given the Steelers quarterback situation since Big Ben retired.
Mr.
So,
Pickett.
so Pickett, all right.
Uh-huh.
Uh, um, but I think that would be a good look. And to know that Pittsburgh has pretty much been really aggressive in
Mhm.
getting them. And that's like the one team that's at least been reported from an aggressive standpoint, trying to get
Mhm.
them. Like that, they might be the favorites, but obviously the Jaden Daniels connection. Uh, he pretty much been hanging out with Jaden Daniels all summer. He and Jaden Daniels are what CJ Stroud and Michael Parsons are to each other. They just doing summer trips and everything together. So
I heard
uh,
that.
I think Jaden Daniels is probably going to push real hard in the Washington building to get their
Mhm.
guy. But will San Francisco trade him in conference? Maybe if the price
He's
is
not
right.
that in. He's not that in. No offense to Brandon Ayuk, he's not a Justin Jefferson where you want to be like, "Hey, we don't want to trade him." They
Yeah,
traded
but
him to Washington. Ain't like they giving them
right,
to Seattle,
right. But
an in division team. They giving them to a
teams get a
conference
little
team.
petty. Teams get a little
They do.
petty.
They
And I
can.
think part of the reason is they haven't traded him yet is because it's been teams that we kind of already known he's had some interest in. And I think they were
Mhm.
just kind of trying to be petty. Like if I'm trying to think of a bad team. Let's just say
Tampa.
the Tennessee. Let's say the Tennessee Titans. They're not that good right now anymore.
Uh-huh.
Well, the Tennessee Titans said, "Hey, we'll give you some picks and a player to get Brandon Ayuk." They'll be like, "Oh hell yeah, y'all can take him." Because
Right.
I'm like, "Oh well,
If it's the same offer, or a little bit, say the Steelers offering uh a third and a fifth, and
mhm,
Washington offers a fourth and a fifth. I'm sure they probably be like, yeah, we go. Well, Washington's offering a third and a fifth,
mhm.
and the Steelers offering a fourth and a fifth. They probably be like, hey, Steelers, send us a 6-2 and we'll send them to you, even though
yeah,
we Washington giving us a third.
yeah."
So
And
I get what you're saying right there.
yeah, and the
Um,
Saints in the wings too. The Saints in the wings, but I don't know.
and the Saints
I
need to
don't think
stay
we
away from
need to.
positional
I
needs.
don't think we need to, and I don't think we will ultimately. So
I don't think we need to, and I don't want to. Period. I want to keep all our draft capital. And if we go for a position, you know my position,
mhm.
defensive end. That's the
Yeah,
only thing we need to be trading for is a defensive. And I want to make this clear: a game changer, not no
yeah,
anybody. A
not just no
game changer.
rotational guy
Yeah,
that's
not
at
a
the
rotational, not a
edge.
situational guy, a rotational guy, a guy who's been through 4 teams. And no, I want a game changer. He don't got to be a TJ Watt, but a second tier player, or if a first tier player is available, go get him, please, because
Right.
that'll change our defense. Now we're gonna move on back to the quarterback, man. We're gonna go to, will Dak Prescott get the biggest contract ever for a quarterback? from the Dallas Cowboys, or will he be a free agent after this year? He was recently ranked the 10th best quarterback in the league. I think I forgot what ranking it was, but it slipped my mind. But I saw that right across my timeline. But do you think he'll get the deal from Dallas?
So here's my thing when I think about Rain Dakota. When I think of it just in totality of if he was just any quarterback for any team and what he's done, does he warrant being the highest paid? I wouldn't say that. I think he warrants being top 5, top 6 in terms of the seasons he's been able to put together. They've won 12 at least 12 games the last 3 or 4 seasons, something like that.
All right.
He's not a guy that gets in trouble off the field, so he's been a model citizen, if you will, and you definitely win a lot more than you win without him. And in recent years, he's been able to or had to carry the load as opposed to when he first came in the league. Obviously, they leaned heavily on the run game and that offensive line, which didn't have much of a run game. Offensive line has been oft injured, and so a lot has fallen on Dak's shoulders. But like I said, with all that considered, would I say, hey, you know what, I'm going to give you the most money ever? No. But then I think about the team he plays for and what they would have done if Tony Romo was putting up these same numbers. Because what people are saying now is,
that's
well,
different. It's different.
but it's you haven't won a championship with that. Okay.
No, not different that way. I'm talking different in relationship. Tony Romo is like his son.
Yeah, right. And
that's
I
the difference.
And I think obviously Jerry Jones put a lot more emotion into his contract negotiations with a Tony Romo as opposed to what he does with Dak. It's a little bit more. It's more business-like. It's kind of your typical Jerry Jones, and we saw
like
that
the last negotiation. Like the last negotiation.
Yeah, we saw that. We go back to Dak's rookie year where they rip off going 13-0, and he's still talking about, oh yeah, when Tony get back, and like the team, like the coaches and his son had to be like, pops, ain't no Tony anymore.
Ain't
like
no Tony getting
you
back.
winning games. So when you think of the grand scheme of what contracts are going to go, like, yes, Dak can get the highest contract ever to date with getting $60 million a year. But in the next couple of years, next year or so, that's not going to be the case. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes is probably going to get another extension. So then that's going to break the bank. You're going to have other guys that are getting ready to be paid that break the bank. So,
yep, Derek Carr about to break the bank again.
Stop. You stop that right now. unless it's one of his kids' piggy banks. They don't
man. Super Bowl 2024 in New Orleans, man. Carr bringing it home. Carr keeping it home.
Man, but I just think if we just think about, okay, it's the team he plays for, the expectations that comes with being a Dallas Cowboy, and outside of championships, which is extremely hard to win, and y'all haven't won one in almost 30 years, right? So we can't act like it's been happening and he's the only quarterback to not been able to do it for you. Pay the man, because you already paid a wide receiver and a running back before him last time. You paid Zeke and Amari before him. Now you're saying, well, we got to go pay this person and that person. Well, I got to pay Micah. Yeah, Micah, one of the best defensive players in the league, but does he step up when we need him in the postseason? He hasn't shown that yet. Has
CD got his deal yet?
CD hasn't even gotten paid yet.
Zach Martin just got paid.
Zach Martin got paid, but
just got paid, yep.
But CD is like, yeah, we can pay CD, but if you don't pay Dak, has CD shown that he can play with anybody? I don't think so. So,
well, you can't put that on CD. He only played who was out there.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna pay a wide receiver before I pay a quarterback. Obviously, the most important position in the game is the quarterback position, and unless you a Minnesota Viking, like that's the only team that I believe that the wide receiver is going to take precedence over anybody. I still wouldn't.
He already know. I'm saying he already is. You say he still would. They traded for him and paid him. And Tua's not paid.
Yeah, but Tua was still under his rookie deal though, so it wasn't even time to pay Tua.
We're gonna see this year because
Tua gonna get his money, but guess what? I know what Tyreek Hill numbers look like for the Miami Dolphins when Tua playing and when he isn't. So
How
I
it look?
mean, we'll figure that out. But I think eventually they figure something out with Dak. I don't know if it's
It's
60
live.
million a year, but I do think he ends up getting more than everybody else that's currently the highest. And obviously we know Patrick Mahomes, right, is gonna end up breaking the record again. And then it's gonna be, I don't even know who's up for new deals now,
Tua.
but
Tua's gonna
uh
be the next one up, but he's not
yeah,
gonna
but I don't
break no
think
new
Tua gonna
deal.
break it though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's
Yeah,
up, but he's not gonna break
yeah,
a
no.
new deal. Look, Brock Purdy coming up. We'll see what Purdy do if he keep winning like he
Dirty
winning.
Purdy, they might have to pay him, right?
Right.
And so it's gonna happen, but I don't think you just want to lose out on a quarterback,
Mhm.
especially when, at least to our knowledge, Cowboys don't have a contingency plan if they don't
Um,
have a Dak Prescott. So
Here's my thoughts. It looks like the Cowboys and Dak Prescott are coming to an end.
you
It
think?
looked like Jerry Jones is willing to play this season out and see how it goes. Um, Either way, it's going to cost him a couple million. Along he waits.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor Lawrence deal just got done, so I believe he got 289. So Dak is probably gonna want more than that. He's did more than Trevor Lawrence, even though Trevor is paid on some potential. So if he waits this season, how worse could it get? That's how I look at it. How worse could the money go up if he waits it out the end of the season? Because the only way it goes super up,
Mm-hmm.
he gets up to the Super Bowl, gets up to an NFC Championship, and looks like Jerry Jones is willing to bet against his own quarterback on that. So
Yeah, but last
if
time you bet, against Dak, Dak had the best year in his career, and you had
that's
the
true, but and they still
overpaid
ain't
at the
go.
time. So
And they still ain't, and I think Jerry is over that though. I don't think he's
mhm,
willing to overpay for a divisional champion, a divisional round appearance. Not even
mhm,
winning it, appearance. I don't
mhm,
know if he's gonna pay for that. Wild card appearance. They got toasted by Green Bay,
they did.
in the playoffs this year. So I don't know how. In the year before that, they beat up on who was it? Tom Brady. The
Yeah,
first week,
Tom
yeah, they
Brady.
beat up on Tom Brady and then lost the next round. So we'll see. It looked like Jerry Jones, Steven Jones, whoever's calling it. We know Jerry got the final say, but look like they
Mhm,
willing to bet against Dak and say, "Show me what you got. Let's get us to the conference championship at least." Because
mhm.
I think Mike is still gonna come in. You got the ends get paid because when you pay them, they still have immense trade value.
Right.
We rarely see quarterbacks get traded. If ever in the NFL, you barely see that. We just saw it for
Mhm.
Aaron Rodgers, but that was a lot of interrelationships in between that Jets Green Bay
Yeah.
stuff. So we'll see how that goes. So I think Michael will get paid first though. And if that deal does happen, I think it strikes before like the first week of the season.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's gonna happen during the season, but it's gonna be a talking point throughout the whole season. Like
Right.
everybody, when he plays bad, contract extensions are he's playing a little tight. He's doing it. They're gonna ask Jerry Jones after every game, any progress on the contract,
And he gonna
and
say something too. You
right,
don't hold
yeah,
words. He gonna let
we
us
here to
know
win
exactly what's
games. We
going
here to do this.
on.
Man, but let's get to our Saints. Y'all know we gotta bring in the drop for the facts segment. I have the logo up here, the whole thing. I didn't even notice, but hey,
You know the facts.
y'all, we have the facts segment, and we have two of our receivers are on the
Just
non-injury
one.
football list. Oh, just
Rick is
one. All
with
right,
49ers, yeah.
okay. Bub Means, well, our receiver. Let's go. Bub Means from Louisiana Tech. He's on a non-injury football list. Any news on this, Trey?
We don't know yet. Obviously, when football players are put on a non-football injury list, that basically just means they got hurt away from the facility. So,
Mhm.
like for example, like the way Kyrie got hurt, like
Okay.
if he was in the NFL because he was training somewhere, they would call it a non-football injury, even though it
Okay.
probably was a football-related injury due to his training. That's all that means. Hopefully, we get more information
Mhm.
about what exactly he injured, because that'll determine a lot. I mean,
Let
we
me
talked a
see.
lot about who is kind of that after you get from obviously
Shaheed,
Olave and Shaheed, and I
Cedric
guess you could David
Wilson.
Perry in there and Cedric Wilson. Like like he's kind of competing with the Cedric Wilsons and the Equanimous St. Browns of the world. And where does he fall? Does he fall behind in that competition? Is he a guy that we end up releasing, even though we spent draft capital on him? Is he just kind of like an automatic practice squad person at this point? So because I felt like he probably was going to be a special teams ace for us too, kind of being a gunner with his speed. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Saints do. And all I'm really hoping, bro, is that we don't try to overcompensate. Because I swear to God, if I hit a name Hunter Renfrow just because Bub needs to get hurt, like I'm gonna lose it. So
I do not prefer no more Raiders or anybody who has a relationship with Derek Carr on the Saints team.
Right.
Let's run this team like a football team.
Yes,
we're not the Lakers. Do not run it like a family business.
No,
But I'm reading up on Bubs. It says injury isn't considered to be serious, but they don't name the injury. And he's expected to be cleared when the team undergoes its annual conditioning test on July 23rd. So that's in 6 days. The first real day of practice is July 24th. So we have about 7 full days to the first real practice, and he does his conditioning test.
Hopefully he passes. Because man, our team, they will overreact. They might trade the house for a wide receiver just because a guy who's fighting for the 5th wide receiver spot got hurt.
Man, my one pet peeve with the Saints, well, not one, I have more, but this one is one of the things I just so much dislike. I thought it was just Sean Payton under his regime playing players out of position, but now I see it's just a Saints thing. This is what we do. It's like offense, defense. What is going on with us? Can we let guys play their position, please, for the love? It just keep hurting my soul. They draft guards, playing back tackle, draft tackles. Oh, we gonna move you to guard. Cornerbacks, we gonna put you at safety. Outside corners, let's get in the slot. Stop doing this, please. Jawan Jennings, move to tight end. Even though he's better at tight end because wide receiver was not working. They should have moved Buckner and Callaway to tight end. How slow he was. Man, but yeah, I had to get my Loretta about the moving players in positions. We need to stop that. Hopefully, Clint say on offense, we stopping all that. Let him run the offense. Then just go somewhere else on your defense. Play with ring around the rosy with your defensive players. Because Alante said he not having it.
Man. Ricky Pearsall also ended up on his list, so I'm not sure what his injury is either. But as we kind of talked about earlier, the Brandon Ayuk trade news, depending on the seriousness of Ricky's injury, that could hold some things up. He was their first round pick this year, and obviously we know Jawan Jennings can step up when needed, but we just know the big 4. You have currently Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, who I just think he's more of a running back anyway. You got Jawan Jennings, you got Ricky Pearsall. Not really sure about that wide receiver. But yeah, he's a tight end, but I'm thinking more so just wide receivers in general, not so much pass catchers. And it gets a little thin. And if you drafted a wide receiver first round, you're definitely hoping, he's not having a serious injury. I would assume it's a guy that's going to play and be involved in the mix if you draft him, especially a Kyle Shanahan offense where they haven't really needed like first round draft picks to really do a bunch of damage in
because
this
his
system.
scheme and his play calling is just so it's kind of like the Sean Payton used to be. We never really had like big name receivers or biggest name we had was Jimmy Graham. Colston wasn't a big name receiver. Devery Henderson, Robert Meacham. I can't even think of like no other like Lance Moore. Those guys wasn't big name. They wasn't super go up and electric catches, things like that. None of them was super fast. Devery Henderson was, but Meacham was a speedster, but it wasn't out of this world. Devery Henderson was though, not our other guys. But
like from your perspective, like if you're in the 49ers front office, do you think? And again, we don't know the significance of Ricky's injury, but let's say it's something that might keep him out the first couple of weeks of the regular season. Would it, in your opinion, like if you wasn't making the decisions, would it affect whether you're moving off of Ayuk or not?
if I was the 49ers, I think I would still keep Ayuk because Debo has been kind of injury prone the last season. Jawan Jennings, we both agree he's a good receiver, but he's not a number one. I'm sure he can step into a 2 role, but 3 is his greatest spot right now so far, proven. But like you said, Debo is more of a all-around player, and that's really funny. You said, you look at Debo like a running back. When he was in the interview, and somebody asked him like, who don't know nothing about it, I think I don't know what it was. He was like, it was like, what do you do? And like his first position he named was running back. He said, I play a little running back. I play receiver everywhere. And when he said that, I was like, why would you say running back first? Like he was like, yeah, I'm kind of like a running back, a receiver, everything. But yeah, that was funny to me. But if I'm the 49ers, I'm keeping on Brian and Ayuk because you could trade a receiver in season. It's not like it's not like it's gonna change your team drastically. If you trade him in season, if Ricky Pearsall comes on, misses a couple weeks, let him get into the groove back. Wouldn't the trade deadline week 8, 7,
week 9, something like that?
Yes, something like that. It won't be hard for John Lynch to trade Brandon Ayuk to a team during the season because most people and we don't know if Brandon Ayuk is going to hold out or not. So, but keep him until because it's not too much behind him. Debo, I don't look at him the same as you, like as a receiver. If Ayuk gets traded, he's going to have to play more of a receiver. Like you can't really put him in the backfield too much and risk injury. So we'll see where that goes for the 49ers. But John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan has been doing good with talent acquisition. So I'm sure they can find somebody to replace Ayuk if need be. But that's how I will show y'all, man. Excuse me. Excuse me, man. What was that? I'll show y'all Bayou Ballers Podcast. Y'all like, comment, and subscribe once again, y'all. We gonna be posting some clips. Y'all got to tune in for our live shows on Twitter and YouTube. Any other words for him, bro? It's hump day. What you got for him?
Hey, man, it's midweek. Let's finish this thing strong. And what better way than to like, subscribe, make sure y'all commenting and watching one of the best sports podcasts out there right now, man. We appreciate the love we've been getting, man. And tell family, tell friends, man. The more people involved in this, the better. And I'm pretty sure next week about to start kicking off NFL training camp. So that's going to be fun, dive more into NFL topics and getting ready for that while the NBA kind of winds down. So a lot coming in. So again, we know we talk about the Saints, right? But guess what? We talk about everybody. So if you're a fan of another team, I was talking to Detroit Lions fans the other day. They think they're better than what they are. It's cool. It happens. But
hey, a couple plays away from the Super Bowl.
Yeah. But when you have a 17-point lead, you shouldn't be a couple plays away, right? But hey, I digress. I'm gonna go back down that hole. Detroit Lions, I still love y'all. So y'all fans, y'all can engage with us anytime, any day. So yeah, if you're a fan of any of the other 31 teams, man, let us know. Let us know what's going on in y'all's camp, what y'all thinking about y'all team, because we love to talk about it and share it.
Yes, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I don't have a team in the NBA, but in the NFL, I am locked in with this banner behind me. I get real passionate about the Saints, but I'm a realist. I'm not gonna come on here and tell y'all they're gonna go 16-0 after a game, even if they win. I'm critical because I'm looking at everything. Even if we escape with a win, I'm like, that ain't gonna get it done the rest of the season. When we was winning last year against them trash teams, and everybody like, oh, we turning around. No, I was in here standing on business with my suit, critical. So this year, y'all is gonna get even more critical. I'm going to some games. Hopefully, they don't blow my head off. I'm going to a couple of away games as well. So I'm gonna be out there with my phone, with my jerseys, fussing at everybody else. Hopefully, nobody getting a fight with me. But y'all gonna see the passion in Dante on here when the Saints start playing, y'all. But once again, y'all follow, man. And that's it for the day.
All right, peace.